welcome to Inner Truth Recovery. I'm Jessica.
Jamie.
Welcome back to our channel. This is where we reconnect to the truth of who we are. Both of us are women in recovery and leaders of a free sharing circle on Wednesday evenings. And through our weekly circle, we hold space for healing, connection, and recovery. Here on our channel, we like to pull an oracle card and reflect and get some inspiration on what's coming up for us around that. We were just talking about how we were feeling the intensity of the energies today.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what's coming forward for us.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're filming this on Monday, January 27th. So if you kind of think back, if you're watching this later to that last week in January, were you feeling this anxious? Like it's like this. It's like I don't have words. I just have to like act it out.
Awesome. I'm pulling from the Wild Unknown Animal Guide deck here. A card just popped out.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We got the golden egg.
Oh.
Golden egg.
Hmm.
Hmm. I know that's in the very last section. All righty. Okay. Golden egg. Message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. With the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned until we retreat from the noise of modern day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga nidra or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell like you are seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you.
Hmm.
And then it also says the subtle essence of the golden egg is nestled deep within the heart center at the fourth chakra. This chakra, called the Anahata, is the home of the self or soul. By bringing the mind into this center, we discover a portal to the most intimate and luminous space. It is said our inner guide sits there in deep meditation, waiting for us. Anahata translates as the unstruck sound.
Hmm.
Mm. I feel like this is kind of like what we were just talking about right before we hit record on our video, right? It's like that's really what's coming up for me. We were just talking about that kind of crunchy energy that we both woke
Mhm.
up with or kind of experiencing. And the new Aquarius new moon coming up on the 29th. It's also the Lunar New Year. We're moving into the year of the wood snake. And we were talking about just how I think interesting that's going to be because when snakes shed their skin, they go temporarily blind, right? So it's like as a collective, personally and collectively, we're going to all kind of had this temporary blindness as we're shedding these old versions of ourselves. So I think it's even more important to like drop into that heart space, right? Like that deep intuitive knowing, that sense of like love and peace and safety where everything's okay, right? Because we may not be able to fully see the picture, right? As we're shedding and inviting in the new. Um, I feel like I almost need this reminder like on a daily basis, right? That really like dropping into that really precious still place.
Mhm.
Um, even when I meditate, a lot of my meditations, I use I like guided meditations a lot, or like energy healing meditations. And so I don't know, I'm kind of feeling a little bit called to really invite in more true silence, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just really inviting like those true moments of silence, even if I'm not technically calling it meditation, just walking through the woods and just not talking or not listening to. I usually have earbuds in. I'm listening to a podcast or something like that. But it's just like really dropping into that silence, not just silence in sound, but silence like energetic stillness, right?
Yes.
um Yeah,
So
that's
funny that you're saying this because I only do silent meditations now. I actually hate guided meditations. I'm like, shut up, shut up. I don't want to hear you talk. Like, I just love the silence. But I was thinking about this. This came up for me last night. I was thinking, oh, I think the next time I'm leading the circle, I'm going to really drop into a silent meditation for everybody and talk about the art of like really practicing this. So yeah, I'm like really leaning into that silence. But even that, wait, throw up that picture again. That's on the Oracle card. Yeah, like I even feel like that, just that photo is like what we were talking about, right? And it's like, it just like things feel like there's a lot happening right now. Like, right? Like that's all that stuff around the golden egg, right? That the nest, like things are, I don't know, whatever.
yes,
Um, and ultimately, like, I feel like we don't really know what's coming, like what's happening. And it's always that invitation because we're really powerful beings. Like,
yes,
we're whole, complete, perfect. We're just filled with this Shakti energy flow of love and just all of that all the time. And if we could truly just tap into that, and like every person just worked on that for themselves, like, how can I like connect to the golden egg within me, so to speak,
yes,
right? Like, and just be in that space because we were talking too about how it's not what you're doing, it's like who you're being while you're performing actions. That's really your karma. And we're really focused on returning to that love within ourselves and like what are our thoughts and paying attention to those things. That's really going to help us through this right now. That's the only thing that's going to help us through this because
yes.
I think that the outside world is no longer stable for anybody. Like we're really seeing this, all types of people. Like there's a lot of instability right now
Right.
for people. And it's like the only thing we can control is like our thoughts about things and what we're doing. And that's really what we're going to see play out in the world. If
Right.
we're peaceful and we're from coming from that space of love, we're going to see that more in the
Yes.
world. And if we're freaked out and we're trying to like manipulate and do things, we're just going to really have a terrible experience. So it's really important to cultivate that art of silence and coming back to ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love how you brought in the picture too, because it does feel like a very apt visual metaphor, right? Of just like that kind of, we keep doing the hand gesture, right? Like all the like static around us, right? And just having that kind of silence. And I love that it talked about too, like deep, like vulnerability with like even with the
Yeah.
self, like that deep intimacy, right? Like into me I see, right? And so um we can really only do that in those moments of silent reflection when we have too
Yeah.
much noise, too much interaction, too much doingness, too much doings. It's very easy to neglect the being, right? When we're
Yeah.
doing too much, right? And so um yeah, and I love that as people continue to, because with this North Node and Pisces, right? Like intuition is going to get stronger. Like people's
Mhm.
intuition is going to get sharper. It's going to become coming online. So I think now more than ever, like minding our mind, minding our vibration, like really nurturing. I love how you said it. How are we being as we show up in that, right? Like if I'm walking the dog, if I'm going to the grocery store, if I'm in a business meeting, it's like, am I showing up as my full, perfect, whole, authentic self, right? Can I
Mhm.
come from that place? And this is like deep, this is deep work for me, right? I've got that Mars in Virgo, I've got that critical eye. Like everywhere I go, I'm like, I see 1,000 ways this could be better, right? And
Yeah.
actually I was watching this movie over the weekend and somebody said something about I see the potential. And the lady said, well, potential is what we see when what we're looking at isn't good enough for us. And I thought, ooh, ouch, ouch. I am like, oh, I see the potential. I see the potential. I see, and I'm like, oh wow. So it really like it struck me. I've been sitting with that for a couple of days because it's like that's so true, right? Like,
Yeah.
can I just look at something and love it for how it is without seeing how it could be better, how it could be different, myself included, right?
Mhm.
It's like this, it's constant striving to improve, striving to heal, striving to get rid of the trauma, whatever it is, all beautiful intentions, right? The result is beautiful, but it's like just really being and accepting what is and being with that in the moment. And I love that, just embracing the wholeness and the perfection that's already there and inherent in us,
Yeah.
right? Like the healing and like all that's good stuff. And I think it comes back to that balance, right? Like
Yes.
so
Yeah, or we're like just taught to try to get rid of things or to do something about things as opposed to just accepting that first,
yes,
right? Um, I was working with a new client and she was talking about how like that essentially like I'm so sick of doing the healing. We're coming out of Chiron is still in Aries. Do you know how much longer Chiron is in Aries for? But like everyone's essentially been doing that wounded healer
Yeah.
work around the self, right? And so everyone's kind of getting into that space of like, I'm sick of healing, I'm sick of healing. And one of the things I told her is, yeah, well, this is going to be completely different because I want you to just accept where you're at. I don't want you to do anything about it, right? Like, I don't want you to have to sit in therapy for, not that there's anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like I love therapy. There is definitely a need for that. And like if you are out there and you feel like you've been doing all of this work all the time and you're just sick of it, like maybe it's just time to accept where you're at and like breathe that up. And like that's really, and cultivating that inner, that rest, that peace. And I hear a lot of people talk too about like, oh, and I was feeling this too over the weekend, like I'm not being productive enough. I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. I need to be more, like all that. And it's like, well, you just have to accept, like, if you can accept where you are at in every moment, then is it that enough? Like that is enough, but is it enough for you?
Mm,
You know,
right.
it's not for me. I mean, I told you my story and I was driving home on Saturday from the grocery store, stuck at a red light. I was like, I didn't do enough. And now it's already 4 o'clock and I should be doing this and blah, 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 blah. And why didn't I get this done? And I really want to rest too. I want to read my book and I want to, watch a show or just hang out. And then like the message came through was like, no, you're just here right now, stopped at a red light.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else you have to do. And I was like, well, why? Why not? Like there is stuff I have to do. And it's like, because this is all that there is right
Mm,
now. This is all that's happening.
yes.
And I could feel that for a moment, that like radical peace and just like, wow, this is so cool. Like I'm just sitting here at this red light. Like it became exciting and just really, you could feel that energy moving up,
Yeah.
right? Lasted
Yeah.
for a moment and then I was kind of like right back in as I started driving, like, all right, I'm almost home,
But I
So,
think that's important to remember. It's like we're changing, like as a collective, on
mhm,
personally, like literally, I think our bodies are changing. Like like holding more, like there's more stuff going on in the cosmos than there ever has, like that we can witness, that we're aware of, right? And so
yeah,
it's like all that stuff is affecting us. And so I think that's vital. I had some of the same experiences over the weekend. It's like I wanted to shit all over myself, right?
yeah,
It's like I should have done that. I should have done, I wish I, but it's like, oh my God, well, my body doesn't. My body, for whatever reason, just needs to like sit on the bench outside and stare at the grass, whatever it is. And so just really like allowing that. And I feel like as a society, we tend to skip the acceptance part or the integration
yeah,
part, just having that, because integration is vital, right? Like after
yeah,
any big journey, a big transformation, it's like, okay, well, how do I really integrate this and then like apply it into my respective occupations and affairs, right?
yeah,
And so we can just get kind of addicted to the consumption. I know I can. I can get addicted to
same,
consuming new information. I love to learn, right? I love to, like, I'm
yeah,
a seeker at heart. And so it's like, even that, it's like sometimes just having to take breaks. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, I just
absolutely.
can't consume anymore. It's like, just really be like, drop into that,
Yeah,
that silence within and without. And I think it's going to be a vital practice that we'll be coming back to throughout this year,
yeah,
with everything going on.
absolutely. I think that's a really important practice this year. Yeah. I talked to several people too who are also feeling the same way over the weekend and like also saying things like, I sat on the couch and watched movies all day. I was so unproductive. But again, it's like if you're, and then I did offer them a reframe and it was actually really, they were really open to it too. Because like that is being productive. You're taking care, like if you can be really radically present in each moment and just accept that that's where you're at, that's what's happening, and you move through it life that way, like just the presence and lifting up in each moment, like why isn't that enough for us?
Mm,
It's really hard to tap into that energy though.
yeah.
Because I'm definitely feeling that this week. I feel like I've got a million things to do before I head down to Florida. Like all this stuff is going on, and I'm like, but there's nothing I have to do except do what I'm doing in each moment. That's it.
Mm,
And then I'll know exactly what I have to do next. Right? Because do you ever not get something done? Like energetically speaking, maybe not. Like, I don't know. That's a whole like other kind of conversation we could go down. But really just practicing or like reframing if you do need rest right now and you are feeling these energies because they are really intense. And I would invite you into that like reframe if you need to. Like if you're gonna lay around on the couch all day, just lay around on the couch all day and accept that that's where you're at and be there without shaming or judging yourself and just allow yourself to be in that space and know that that really is truly productive for your where you are in that moment
Mhm.
because that's where you are. That's that's where you are. That's what you're choosing to do. So just be there. And
Yes.
I would invite everyone into that energy.
Yes. That's so true. And I actually have like real life I mean, I can like picture my own experience around that because I've had times where I did let myself lay around, but I like guilted and shamed and felt
Yes.
like shit about it all weekend. And so I needed even more laying around, right? And then I've had other moments where I just accepted it and I was totally present with the laying around and it went by, it's like that
Yeah.
that was the productive part is I allowed myself the rest. I allowed myself to just be in it. Um,
Yes. Just be
I
in
tend to,
each
yeah,
moment.
I tend to like be in the former most if I'm going to be honest, but it's like I'm making progress to try to do the second, right?
Well, I noticed I was saying that to myself this morning. I was like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I've got so much to do. And it's true. So one of the things I told myself, I was like, great. So be busy then. Just be it. Stop resisting it. Because that's what I'm doing is I'm in here doing the things, but I'm like battling myself. Oh my gosh,
Mm,
I'm so busy. What am I going to do? Nothing. Just be busy then. Move through it and just do what you have to do. Like just accept it. That
right.
was the conversation that like kind of dropped in this morning. It was like, fine, you're busy. Stop fucking talking about it. Just be busy then. Because it's like I always talk about the voices in your head.
Yeah.
It's like that's what was going on. I'm like doing laundry, and then I found a mouse in my house this morning, so then I had to take care of that. And then like I almost had a fire in my house with the right. Like there was so much, and there is going to continue to be a lot of stuff, but it's like just let it be. Just be
Mm.
busy. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay. I accept that now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, this is super fun today.
Yes.
Yes. Don't forget to subscribe and be a part of our growing community if you feel so inclined. We're so glad you're here. We look forward to seeing you next time. If you'd like to join us on Wednesday nights for our free sharing circle, the information and link below is for all that. We would absolutely love to see you there. You have anything else, Jay?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, just tuning into the presence and the being wherever you're at. I think that's the practice for the week. And yeah, we'll be back soon. All right, bye.